Afternoon. How are you all doing? Afternoon all. God, it's a long list today. Steve, JC, Sarah, Peter, Crum, Ian, Emac, XRUpdate.news. What's up? Astro, Daytrader FX, Baggy, Marco, Fletch, David, George, and Lennart. How are we all doing? All good? Bit of a puppy session today. Not a lot moved. Moved up, moved down, moved up, moved down. Not gone anywhere. Soggy Yorkshire Dales, Jimmy, yeah. Soggy UK as well. Just the whole UK soggy. Raining everywhere. And windy. Afternoon, Francesco, Neo. So we've had the news for non-farm employment change for the ADP non-farm employment change, which was 324 on a forecast of 191. So more people employed than they were expecting, which is good. Hasn't really done an awful lot though. Bit of a bullish move on the US, but nothing to write home about. We got an ADR on US dollar Swiss. US dollar CAD's been rallying all day. Everything else has come down. Pound US dollar down. Euro US dollar bit down. Aussie US down. So bit of strength on the US, but nothing exciting today. There's no other news this afternoon. That's it. Indices didn't really get much of a kick off of that at 1:15. Where are we? Where are we? So somewhere around there, basically. You can see the markets came down, but load of rubbish. Afternoon, George. Afternoon, Brian. Ended up picking up the symmetrical triangle indicator and dashboard. Excellent. Enjoy. You've got to be into patterns for that, which a lot of people are. If you're into Elliott wave, Wyckoff, that sort of stuff, then the symmetrical triangle is the best pattern out there. It's interesting. I was watching a video this morning about David Paul, who's died recently. He used to work with Tom Hurgard, very well-respected trader. And he basically was talking about Elliott wave on the video. And it's interesting, his kind of attitude towards Elliott wave and Wyckoff and all this stuff is very much like mine. It's like, yeah, it could give that looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Could be a 1, 2, 3. That could be a 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably going to do a 5, 6. Might do that. Might not. No clue. But you've got to take a trade for some reason, haven't you? Pushed up, symmetrical triangle formed. Might as well take a trade. Might work. Might not. All the same stuff. Afternoon, Monkey, Kenley, Amy. Sorry, I'm just trying to find something. Gone. Nope, can't find it. Don't matter. Would the credits rating downgrade for the US have a negative impact on the US dollar? Not really, no. What somebody's opinion is of the US dollar doesn't really affect the US dollar. Afternoon, Gordy. Right, let's have a quick look at where we are. We've got 3 minutes to the open. So there's quite a few ADRs today. We looked at most of these this morning. There's a few RSIs, not a lot. So I'm concentrating on the 21 RSIs still. So trades I've got on at the moment, Aussie US. First entry on that one yesterday, currently pushing down. That was an RSI extension on the hourly. Also an ADR hit. Euro odd extended to the upside. First entry on that this morning in Asia after that extension. Again, RSI extension pushed up a little bit more this morning. Euro New Zealand in one short. That pushed down, pushed back up. Still break even. Pound US dollar, got 2 positions on that one. First one was taken weeks ago. We looked at this morning. Been in this forever. Just not going anywhere. It's unusual to be in a trade for like, what is this, 11 days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 11 days. And only have 2 positions on. Shows you how little this has moved. In 11 days, I've only managed to get 2 trades on, which means this thing hasn't gone more than 1.5 ADR. I will get another one on today. So this will be the 3rd entry today. But that's like 2 ADR in 3 days, in 11 days, 2 weeks. Not going anywhere. Nothing's going anywhere. US dollar yen, that was in profit this morning. Still is in a little bit of profit. Looking for it to get down into this propulsion gap initially. But obviously the US news has pushed it back up. So, yeah, nothing's really going anywhere. US indices, the DAX this morning was a whipsaw. Well, it wasn't. It was a bit, but it's just a choppy one today. So we moved down 1R and moved up 1R from the range. Range was big. So I didn't take any trades on that one this morning, but very difficult to make any money out of that today. We've had a fair bit of movement on the US indices, but not dramatic. So we got quite a lot of earnings out today. So that's your open. So we haven't really moved down much on these in the Globex session. Slight downward move as we had on the DAX. So the DAX, we've got a gap fill to do. So we may well get a rally on these this afternoon. We'll see where we go. But we've got 30 seconds to the open. Obviously, as we've pushed down, you've got the Globex low today as your initial down support. An upward support will be yesterday's highs. So more room up than down today on all the indices. So we'll see where we go. Hopefully we'll get more volume than we did on the DAX. The DAX, literally, that was your open this morning on the DAX. We literally went sideways for pretty much an hour. Didn't do anything. So not much fun this morning. Sorry, bear with me a sec. Just doing something over here. Right. So if you've taken the pre-markets today, your pre-market range is there. You'll be short on the NASDAQ and you'll be long on the Dow. You took pre-markets. Afternoon, Michael. Thanks for subscribing. Twan, no, I can never say it. Anybody that starts their surname with an N and a G is physically impossible for somebody in the UK to say. Twan, no. Can't say it. Ngo. I'm not on GU, looking like a good buy. Yeah. Well, sort of. Afternoon, Franco. Sort of a good buy, GU. So breaks today. If you took pre-markets, the ORB, you are short, long, pretty much a 1R to the upside, 1R to the downside. Big ranges going in again today. So earnings wise today, we've had so the aftermarkets from yesterday and the pre-markets from this morning. So we only had Kraft this morning. All the aftermarkets we've had, Uber, Virgin Galactic, Pinterest, all this lot, not really done a lot. We would have seen the movement in the Globex session. So the fact that we've gapped down means there's more negatives than positives, but there's no real impact. So aftermarkets today, we've got PayPal and Shopify. So these guys are big players. And obviously Etsy's not too bad, but those two specifically. And then tomorrow morning, we've got Fiverr, which is big. Alibaba's huge as well. And then the rest of the aftermarkets are Amazon, Apple, and everything. So tomorrow afternoon is the big day. So Friday should be the big day for movement. And then earnings fortnight fizzles out. So that's when the volatility really starts to drop. You tend to get a lot of sideways. So no real direction today at the moment. It's trying to go short. So the pre-market 15, you haven't had 1.5 hour yet. You have on the 5. Uh, 1.5 hour short on the NASDAQ. S&P, you haven't had a target yet. So we've got 2 minutes to the close of this candle. We'll have a look at the FX pairs after that. Okay, so the Dow has completely rejected that push to the highs. Look, we're straight back to the open. Big rejection. Totally overwhelmed by sellers today. So we're going to go down on Dow. Globex lows, and then all the way down to sort of 150 ADR, which is this low from last week. That's last week's low, that black line as well. So pretty much all the way down there. Long drop, but a bit indecisive at the minute. There's your pre-market 15. We're straight back inside the range. The other trades I took this morning, for those that are in the live room this morning, nothing's hit target. Wasn't expecting it to hit target really, but pound New Zealand's in profit at the moment. New Zealand Swiss is in profit. Aussie dollar CAD's in the loss at the minute, so sitting at 0.89% on the morning. So nothing much exciting happened there. This New Zealand dollar Swiss double bottom bounce looks good. Well, it's actually more than a double bottom bounce. It's bounced down here loads of times. So looking for a push basically up into that high. Not going for the absolute highs, just looking for a couple of risk rewards out of that. Aussie dollar CAD, that was a bounce off of the bottom as well. So I was looking for this bounce off of the monthly low. We have bounced, but we've hit it again. So we'll either put a W pattern reversal in down here, or I'll stop out on that. And the other one was the New Zealand dollar Swiss. Nope, done that one. Pound New Zealand. That was that double top, or more than double top again. Range. So we're in a range up here. So I'm selling it here, looking for it to push back down into the bottom of this range here. So just looking for a short down to there, 150 ADR to the downside. So we'll see how they play out. But high risk, high reward, 2.5% risk per entry. This is the account that basically just stuck 8 grand in it just to see if we could double it. Give it a go. Do that compounding thing. Okay, 5-minute opening ranges are in. All too big today. So I'm obviously this version of the EA. This is my development version of the EA. It's watching the size of the ranges. So the maximum range I'm willing to take is 20% of the ADR. So on an average day, I'm not looking to get into more than not looking to get into an initial trade if it does more than 20% of its normal range within that candle. Want to leave it to have some room. So your 5-minute ORB, if you've taken it, is short NASDAQ, inside bar still on the Dow, and you are short the S&P. So anybody that took the pre-market S&P, you're in. You're in. You're still in. So you had 1.5R plus out of both of those. Well done. That you're still sitting in it long. So you are down at the Globex lows now on the NASDAQ. Anybody get on the pre-markets? Running on the NAS pre-market. Good one, Lucy. Sarah? Lucy? It's because your surname's Lucas. I don't know why I saw Lucy. Like me, I get called Ian all the time. Really weird. People call me Ian. I'm like, what? Because I've got 3 letters in my name. They go, Ian. No, Lee. Why would you? It's not even the same. It's got 3 letters, but it's not the same. Anyway. So watch this double bottom on the NASDAQ. We've already hit ADR on the S&P as well. So we are pretty exhausted to the downside. Right, let's look at the FX pairs. See where we're going. That's not the FX pairs. Wrong terminal. Got way too many terminals open. That one? No, just click that one. That one. Right, ADRs. So this morning we had ADR on the Aussie New Zealand. So that was a big rally up. Beautiful ADR this morning. Really, really easy entry. That's ADR. Straight up into ADR. Reversal alert. Retest. M pattern. Remember, I don't know if you were here in the live room this morning, but I said target this propulsion gap. Get out there. Perfect. So that worked perfectly. Euro Swiss. We had an ADR on this morning. So I got out of Euro Swiss this morning. Positions closed 1.5%. TP. It's an ADR hit today to the upside. So the entry was off of this reversal here. So that was your initial entry. It did push down, but pushed back up again. And now we've got another reversal that gone in there, and that's just retested. So that's a big old stop run M, or potentially an M pattern reversal there. Back down into here somewhere. Euro New Zealand. That's I'm in a sell on this already. This isn't off of the ADR. This is off of the H1, but it's the same move. Again, looked at this one this morning. Your reversal alert was there. So that was your M pattern. We've pushed down into there, pushed up again, looking for it to come back down into propulsion. Euro New Zealand done. Pound Swiss. ADR hits to the upside. That came off beautifully. So that was your reversal alert. TP. You would have got 35 out of that. Half an ADR is 40. Pound New Zealand. Again, that one you're looking for 102 is half an ADR. You've had 205. You've had 76. So you've had sort of about a third of an ADR out of that. New Zealand dollar CAD, that was an ADR hit to the downside. So the initial alert on this one this morning was there, on that candle there. So basically that was the reversal alert there. That's how much you got out of it. Didn't quite get up into the propulsion gap. The US news basically ruined it. So we were nicely on our way this morning, looking for a pullback, and then the news hit here for the US dollar, which obviously drove the US dollar, which drove the CAD. And obviously this dropped on that. Just had another reversal alert go in. That's a double bottom bounce off of ADR. So potentially you could take another long there, look to get up into that propulsion, or take TP at that high. New Zealand CAD, New Zealand yen. So that was an ADR hit to the downside. You had a reversal and a retest in there. That one obviously got invalidated by that low. Second entry's just gone in there. So you're looking for a push up. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. That's just hit ADR. So you haven't had a reversal alert on that. So that will be the reversal alert coming up in a minute. Whenever we get that push, assuming we do get a push, obviously the US dollar's just had good news, so it might continue to drop. But if you want to get into it, wait for that reversal alert. Bear in mind, New Zealand dollar had negative news this morning, so it's bearish New Zealand dollar. And now we've got US dollar positive news. It's even more bearish. It's been pushed down twice as hard. US dollar Swiss. That's an ADR to the upside, obviously, on the US dollar news. So news has pushed it up. Reversal is not going to be till down there. Not great. I wouldn't want to look at shorting the US dollar necessarily. This week, I'm happy to be in a US dollar yen. But the rest of the US dollar pairs, I'd just be cautious because obviously this week we've got a lot of news coming up. We've got the unemployment claims and the services PMI before and after market open tomorrow, and then obviously it's straight into non-farm payroll. So Friday is going to be flat until non-farm comes out at 1:30. We know the unemployment rate. When the unemployment rate comes out, we're going to get a decent move. So we'll wait. I'd wait on the US. If you do get into anything, obviously you're just basically hoping that we're going to get a move in the right direction on tomorrow afternoon and Friday. Nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you don't get overexposed. US dollar Swiss is probably not the best pair, I don't think, at the moment, but we'll see. So that is extended to the upside. There's a lovely big target to the downside on this one, but if you look at the price action, it's very orderly. You're not going to, I don't think you're going to get a massive pullback on this. The euro's weak at the moment, which is making the Swiss franc weak. So it's weak Swiss franc and a strong US dollar. Push up and down means you should be longing it. But so there's your ADRs. There's a lot of weeklies as well. We looked at all of those this morning. So all of those that are extended on the weekly are good opportunities for shorts as well. RSIs, quickly look at the open, short and long on the 5 minute on there. NASDAQ's short, Dow's long. So you're hedged on the S&P. Either that or you're stopped out, depending on where you've put stops. So RSIs, the only ones we've got are the Aussie dollar, US dollar to the downside. So first entry on that one was yesterday off of the RSI extension. M5 reversal alert was in there. We've pushed down today because the New Zealand dollar had negative news, which has brought the Aussie dollar down. We've just had positive news on the US dollar, which has pushed that down further. So second entry on this one. We're coming into that propulsion gap. So this is the break of that high there. 82 ADR. So if we get an ADR hit today, I'll probably get second position on, depending on when the reverse alert comes. But if we can get down to there, I'll be taking a second entry somewhere around there. Third entry will be down at that low. If we can get all the way down to there without having a pullback, we're going to be massively extended on the RSI below the 20 level. So that snapback will be twice as hard. Somebody asked a question about elastic band theory. KK, does elastic band theory still apply in low liquidity? I don't know if you're in here. There's no point in answering it in here if you're in there. In Telegram, this is. Does elastic band theory still apply in low liquidity markets? If it gets volatile against you, does it end up going for days? No. It's basically talking about coming into summer trading where the volatility, you get a lot more intraday movement sometimes, but no direction. So it doesn't make any difference. Any strong moves in one direction will still get undone. If they're pushing hard in one direction, they've got to still get out of that position to make profit. So you'll still, the more stretched you get, the faster that snapback will be still. In fact, faster even. It's actually better. And US dollar CAD is the other extension on RSI to the upside. That's just about to trigger the 75.25 level. So if we can get a US dollar hit above ADR today, up into that propulsion gap, maybe up to 125, I'll take a short on that and look to play it back down into this area here. But that is extended, not quite enough for me yet, but we'll be taking it. Thank you for subscribing, Kieran. Welcome aboard. Kieran Misro. I can say your surname. I just can't say surnames that begin with NG. Sorry, I'm not picking on you. I just can't say your name. And people find it funny when I can't say names. Beginia, a bit late. Afternoon. Can you check Euro CAD and Euro US? I can do that. So those are your RSIs, basically. I'm not covering the hourlies on the 14 RSI. I'm just doing the 21s at the moment. Obviously, they are, if you've got an extension on the 21, you've got to be extended on the 14 because it's more sensitive. So therefore, to light that up, that has to be lit. So I'm not going to cover all the rest. These are all ever so slightly extended, these three, on a very higher sensitivity setting. So I'd leave them for the minute while we're in a busy week. We've got a busy news week, so I wouldn't want to be using the 14 this week. But so those are the only two RSIs that we've got. Euro CAD. Not doing anything at the minute. So all we've done is we've come off the previous resistance. So pushed up into there. Yeah, so that's all part of a balance. Then we've gone into price discovery above that area. Yeah, into a new balance, more price discovery. And then just basically pulled back on that entire move. And now we're back sitting at this high. So bounce, 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 push. Break new high. But it's not extended at all. So the strength of movement isn't enough for me to want to get into it at the moment. But could go long, could come back down and retest this balance area. So I'd be more interested in longing it than shorting it at the moment. However, we've just had some positive news on the US. If we do get positive movement this week off of the unemployment, that's going to drive the CAD long, which means that will be coming down. The euro has really not reacted positively to the interest rates. So last week, we obviously had the new euro rate come out, 4.25 there. So we had a positive interest rate rise on the euro. Typically, you would expect a rally, but Lagarde didn't rally the market much at all. So this euro hasn't really gone anywhere since we had the rate announcement. Literally, it hasn't gone up, hasn't gone down. Yeah, there's the rate announcement. We've not gone anywhere, have we? So it's difficult to tell with the euro whether we've got any strength coming through. But with these two at the moment, they seem to both be acting pretty neutrally. So I don't think it really matters which way you get in. You can see here, I took a short there, out, took a long there, out. Yeah, I'll take longs and shorts when we get extensions, but at the moment, there's nothing happening. So sit on your hands and wait. Euro US dollar. Same. It's the same pair. Look, Euro CAD, Euro US dollar. So don't trade them both. Same story, different levels. Broke it. Pushed up, came back down. Exactly the same pair. You're just trading the same thing. You're trading the euro against the US dollar and the euro against the CAD. The CAD and the US dollar move in tandem. A lot of the time, not always, and it's not perfect, which is why this is a different price is different, but the fundamentals are the same between the euro, US dollar, and the euro CAD. The only thing that will affect the CAD, euro CAD differently will be oil pricing. We've got oil inventories coming out in 40 minutes. Looks like they've already leaked. Leaking oil. Get it? So we've got oil inventories coming out in 40 minutes. Sorry, I'm making myself laugh. Just seeing if there's any other news. printing more money. Fine. No. So oil inventories basically will come out. It's always yellow news. I don't know why they don't make it red. They should do, but they don't. So that comes out at 3:30 crude. So whether it's positive or negative really doesn't have an impact on the market. Positively or negatively, the market will just move off of the inventories. Basically, they just use it to dump money into the market or pull it out. So we're not really sure on oil. Well, I'm not sure on oil at all. I'm waiting for a pullback to try and get a long position on because we're looking to get up to 83 a barrel. So I think there's more upside on this yet, but not a lot. If you look at where we are here, the actual upside we've got is 3/4 of an ADR before we get to resistance at 83.5 a barrel. So once we get to that, I think we're probably going to get a move down. So my ideal would be to actually not pull back right here, just to grind our way up to there and then take a short. That will weaken the Canadian dollar. So when you're looking at something like Euro CAD, that will react differently to the Euro US dollar if the oil prices collapse. However, the oil price does also affect the US dollar, just not in such a big extent because the majority of the Canada's exports is oil. So obviously their currency is affected much more by oil than any other. So, but yeah, that's going nowhere either, is it? Same thing, Euro US dollar, Euro CAD, they are sideways. RSI is flat. There's no signals to do anything. More long than short right now, I think, but don't know. Got Euro US dollar for good little gain last 5 hours. Cool. You were short, yeah. Short. Just hit 1% on pound New Zealand. 1 hour sell. Cool. Reversal of that. Resistance. I'm short that too. Got a long way to go yet, though. Got to get there. So tomorrow, obviously, the pound is going to move off the back of the interest rates. So we'll wait and see what happens tomorrow with the pound. If what's happened to the euro is anything to go by, might see it come down. If you look at the fundamentals, this is another good thing to do when you're looking at news and what potentially impact news is going to have. So if you look at the euro, we went up by 1/4% to 4.25. With the pound, we're sitting on 5 and we're going up to 5.25. So the forecast movement is the same for both of them. Interest rates on the euro are sitting at 5.3. Interest rates on the pound are sitting at 7.9. So massive. Still way too big. Inflation, rather, not interest rates. So inflation is far too high for both of them. So the reaction that we had on the euro increasing their interest rates was negative. So the reaction tomorrow for the pound increasing its interest rates could also be negative. Yeah. The market's plumbing in terminal rates all the time. It's looking for the peak so that it doesn't buy too much. And I think, and this is what's happened with the US dollar, even though we've been increasing interest rates, the moves have been negative against the US dollar because they're expecting it not to go much higher. So they don't want to buy too much. So we might get a negative reaction. That would be perfect. But if it does go bullish, if we're down here somewhere tomorrow, I will be break even on the position because there's absolutely no point in taking a loss on it if it's going to pump. So if we could get down into this propulsion gap by end of day today, I'll have a break even on that tomorrow before the news. So this will either slam down into TP or it'll slam up and I'll get out, one or the other. But if I'm sitting at around about, that's the wrong one. If I'm sitting at around about 2.5% or something, I'm risking 2.5% on the trade. So if I get down and we're sitting on 2.5% tomorrow morning, that'll be going over there. There's no point in giving 2.5% away for the sake of getting 2.5%. Take it, put it in the bank. And then if it does go down, you go, oh, well. And if it does go up, you go, ha. I'd much rather have the opportunity of going hair than oh well. Much better, isn't it? But it doesn't matter either way. Bank the money when you got it. So that's all I've got on the analysis side. If anybody's got any other pairs they want to look at, let me know. Which Robo Forex account type would you recommend for a beginner? Whatever you want, doesn't matter. ECN is the best. Well, it's not the best. Choose whichever you want. It doesn't make a lot of difference. I wanted all accounts. If you compare them, yeah. The main difference between the ECN and the Prime is the number of currency pairs. Yeah. You only need those 28. Yeah. They give you exotics with an ECN. You don't need it. Don't go near the exotics. You don't need them. Stocks on both. CFD on indices on both. Yeah. CFD on oil and crypto and futures. Same. Minimum deposit, irrelevant. Floating pips from zero. Maximum leverage, more than you need, more than you need. Yeah. There's just no difference. Just pick one. It really doesn't matter. There's the Pro account as well, which is virtually the same, but you get a wider spread on these. Yeah. So these will charge you commission. This won't. But in the grand scheme of things, there's so little between them. It just doesn't matter. I will, if I'm trading, so if you're going to trade FX, spread is irrelevant. Doesn't matter. Because if you're holding positions over a period of time, it doesn't matter. Spread's relevant. If you're trading indices, you want the tightest possible spread you can get. So with indices, an ECN or a Prime is going to suit you better. Yeah. Margin call a lot tighter on Prime. Yeah, but it's still 1 to 300. If you're trading a 1 to 300 account and you're getting a margin call, you're massively over leveraged. For you to get a margin call on that, you're going to have to be in something like 70% to 80% of drawdown on your account. If you're in 70 to 80% of drawdown in your account, you've basically blown it anyway, haven't you? No point. You don't need anything more. But ECN is absolutely fine. That's what I use. I don't trade those though. Just use that, one or the other. Pick that one, or that one. Any of them, they all do. But as you can see here, look, the client's choice, because there's no spreads and they get commission. Either way, they're going to take the other side of your trade anyway. So bear with me a sec. Indices, we're out the lows on the NAS. So the NAS is holding this low. It's struggling down here, but it is holding short at the moment. The Dow's just gone short. So if you've taken the long, you are flipped short. S&P, obviously you got a little bit whipsawed at the beginning. So depending if you've got stops on and depending where they are, you're either hedged or you're out on that. Bit of a tricky open today. Not a lot of volume in there. US dollar CAD, that's an RSI. I'm short oil, Sarah, are you? Good one. This could well just be a double bottom though. So in half an hour, you're going to find out. Yeah, this is that high there. Yeah, this is a second bounce potentially off of that low. Exactly the same as we did previously. Look. Not quite the same, but pushed up, went to an accumulation. We broke, rather we broke after that bounce. We retested that level and pushed up. We've broken that high, retested that level, pushed up. We're retesting that again. So this could actually be where you want to be longing it from. It's going to do one of those things. I'm hoping it goes short because I wouldn't mind buying it on a pullback. I'm just trying to find I just can't get into this thing. It's just grinding too much. I can't. There's no pullback to get into at the minute. So if we can get any kind of extension, I'd even take a 30 on this, somewhere in here above that high, just to try and get the run up to that level. But if it gets up to there, I shall certainly be looking for shorts on that. Some point, scaled out. Come on. And in terms of leverage, what would be a good one? It depends. If you're going to position trade, you want 1 to 500, 1 to 300. The higher the better, basically. 1 to 500 is pretty much your account. So you won't get a margin call until you're pretty much down to your last $50. On a 1 to 300, you'll get a margin call when you're pretty much down to your last few $100s. So there's not a lot in it. 1 to 300 or 500 is fine. If you get the choice, use the higher one. But if you go with the ECN, you get 1 to 500 as a minimum. No, I think that is all you can choose. If you go with a Pro Cent account, you can go up to 2,000. Yeah, 1 to 2,000 leverage. Again, pointless. Just don't need it. You're never going to use it because you're going to get margin called. If you get down to 0 on your account, you're out. You don't need that much leverage. Same with the Pro. You just don't need it. Just use that. ECN or Prime, one or the other. Where's my profit gone? Aussie dollar is eating it. So Aussie CAD is trying to get out the lows again. Look. So let's quickly whiz through and have a look and see if we can find any more support resistance plays today. Petco turned me onto FX Blue to track filter winning and losing strategies. Yeah, you can use FX Blue. You can use anything. I prefer to use strategy quant, but you can use FX Blue. Any trade tracker. If you want to use one, Forex Factory, you can't really. I mean, Forex Factory's trade trackers are pretty much as good as, if not better than, FX Blues. But any of them will do. Going to play with Expert Advisor Studio. Never heard of it. What's that? Fastest and most reliable strategy tester. Is this by that Russian guy? Oh, this thing. Yeah, no, I've seen this. It's a poor man's version of strategy quant. except you've got no control over data quality. So unless you can import, no, you can import from MQ, yeah. They got Dukascope. Oh, right, okay. So basically what this thing does is it generates strategies for you, and it will randomize them, I guess. So you could go in here and either generate your own, or you could get it to generate ones for you, and it will give you this. If you go and look at Strategy Quant's expensive, but it is a quadrillion times better than this. It will prove to you the same thing as well. You can't see into the future. So none of these actually, you can't do out of sample testing on these. I don't think. I haven't looked into it in any detail, but I don't think you can do out of sample testing, can you? $7 years ago? Don't know. I've not heard of it. Can't help you on that one. But if you want a proper piece of software, Strategy Quant. That will generate some decent quality strategies for you. I don't always understand everything, but watching you makes me focus on my trades better. Well, that's always good news. Right, let's have a quick look and see if we can find some support resistance plays. So ADR hit on NASDAQ. So your 5-minute ORB on the NAS is short. You've got at least 1 hour on that. We're starting the S&P, and the Dow is going as well. So Dow Jones looking for move down into this weekly low. You see that? No, you can't. So basically, the Globex low here is going to act as your first support, which is this area here. So watch this level, and that will be at ADR today as well. If you're shorting the Dow. NASDAQ. Again, these lows. 125 ADR, so you're not far away from potential bounce point on that for a long. S&P, this is a very strong support here. Again, all getting down to potentially near supports on these, so not a lot of downside momentum on any of these today. All breaks look good though to the downside, so if you've taken these today, you will have been stopped out on potentially 1 there, maybe 2. Definitely stopped out on the long there and flipped short, but you're only short on the NASDAQ. So just use 1 to pay for the other. Should be able to get a break even out today at least. Right. Pound US dollars just hit ADR. So is oil. Okay, so oil ADR. We've still got 20 minutes to the news. Selling off hard. Broken yesterday's low, coming down into previous resistance. Euro US dollar. So this US dollar is rallying at the moment. So pound US dollar coming down hard. ADR. Euro US dollar coming down hard. So strong US dollar movement. The news. So yeah, just big strong moves on the US. Right. I'm just going to whiz through all the pairs and just have a look and just see if there's anything exciting from a support resistance perspective coming up to have a look at. In long already on this one, just in drawdown at the moment. So either we're going to hold this level and ping back up into that propulsion, or we're going down. If we're going down, I'm out. Aussie dollar Swiss, that's already out those lows. Nothing exciting there. Aussie New Zealand, missed this. Oh, that was midnight. So that was overnight, and that was the news. So yeah, nice support resistance bounce. Aussie dollar yen, nothing exciting coming up there. We're coming off this low at the moment. We just had the reversal alert, but it's completely sideways at the minute. This could go either way. There's just no point in taking a trade here. It's 50-50. Aussie US, already out the lows. That's hit ADR. That's the next area I'd be interested in. Watching that monthly low. Potential bounce. CAD Swiss is in the middle of nowhere. CAD Yen's in the middle of nowhere. So I'm looking at ranges basically. I'm just looking at previous support, previous resistance, where we are now. We're bang in the middle of the two. I'm interested in taking some longs there and some shorts there. Nothing exciting. Swiss yen, missed that. It's already bounced off the highs. So on this one, there is potential for a play like that, but it's going to require a strong yen. Not sure about a strong yen at the moment. Euro odd, that's all out the highs, already gone. So potentially on this one, I'll be looking for a pullback into here. Take a long. So that monthly, that weekly, yeah. So that black line and that purple line. So somewhere around there. Look for a reverse alert on a low time frame. Nice wide half ADR. And look for a push up if it gets back there. Euro CAD. So we're just about to get a reverse alert on this. This is potentially a decent support resistance area here. So we broke into that, accumulated in it, came and retested it. So potentially there's a play down into these lows. The problem with this one is the risk on it would need to be half an ADR, which is 60. The reward down to that low is 90. So that is just about 1.5 R down to there. So from a risk reward perspective, it's not massive, but there is a potential for a short. So I'm going to skip that one. Euro Swiss, that's a nice bounce off the weekly. Kind of missed it though. Missed it at ADR this morning. Yeah. Oh well, missed it. Euro pound bang in the middle of nowhere at the moment. So if we get back down into these lows, be interested in looking for some longs, maybe off the top of those highs as well. But right where we are at the minute, it could go either way. So there's nothing of interest there. Euro yen, and just sitting in the middle of nowhere, looking for bounce off the highs. Euro New Zealand. So this isn't a bad level. So we tapped into the highs, retested and rejected, pushed up above them, got rejected again, pushing up again. We are making new lower lows. So potentially this is a high of a down channel. We just had a reversal alert and retest. But we've had negative news on the New Zealand dollar, which makes this bullish. So there is an opportunity on that one potentially, because half an ADR on this is 93. So that's 90. Yeah, see, I kind of want this up here, because I always, whenever I get into any support resistance bounce trade, I always want my stop to be well beyond this. Yeah, so I'm not interested in getting into a trade with a stop loss there. Yeah, we know things double top, and we know things exceed the tops, and they don't quite get to them like that. Yeah, it didn't quite get to that high. That one went beyond that high. So if I'm going to take a short here with half an ADR stop, it needs to be up here somewhere beyond that high, in case they come up and attempt to double top and try to rally through that high. If we're going to get batted back down again, we're going to muck about up here for a bit. I need to be clear. Nothing's exact. So from where we are with price right now, 93 pips takes me literally to there. Not far enough beyond that high. So if we could push up into that high, and then we get a reversal up there, be a nice little short back down again. But it's a little bit too close. Euro US dollar. On that monthly, we'll get a good bounce off of that. We've invalidated that low there, so it's gone. This propulsion gap might hold up, but pound odds look pretty good. Missed it really, but that's a nice reversal alert. Look. Yeah, we've broken back, so we've come up to test this monthly high. Screamed through it, starting to reject it. We've got a very, very, very strong support potentially there. So selling into that, we may well get a bounce off of it. But if it breaks that, it's probably going to come down and test these lows. So there's plenty of room to the downside. So that's pretty good looking short. Aussie dollar, we've had negative news on as well, haven't we? So I've got Aussie dollar CAD long at the moment. I'm already short £1. I'm not going to take that because I'm on pound New Zealand, which is the same pair. So I don't need that one. I'm on pound New Zealand. So pound CAD, just sitting in the middle of a chop. Pound Swiss, sitting in the middle of a chop. That's come off the highs. So missed that. Pound yen, nice rejection off the highs, but missed it. So that's that double top. Pound New Zealand already in. Again, that pound New Zealand's the one I took this morning. Just rejected that high. So just looking for a push back down into the lows. Pound US. Again, need a little bit more movement to the downside. I'm just going to stick an alert down there. New Zealand dollar CAD. So that looks like a pretty nice looking opportunity for a long. Right. So New Zealand dollar CAD. We've got this low down here. That would be absolutely beautiful to take along from that. But we've pushed down into there. We've pushed down and rejected this once, and we're having a second crack at this. So one of two things is going to happen here. We're either going to retest this and double bottom. So we're going to put W pattern reversal in, or we're going to slam through and get down to this level. So that looks like a pretty good looking long opportunity. I'll take a break of that high on the last hourly candle. Stop would be 40. Yeah, so 400, 800 would be fine. So basically buy stop on the last candle high. So that candle there, buy stop. And stop loss all the way down there. So if we trigger this order and then come and take all this liquidity to rally back up again, I've got plenty of room. Yeah, half an ADR. TP 2 to 1 is there. So I'll monitor it. See what happens when we get up to these sorts of highs and into this accumulation, which we broke and then retested twice. Watch that level, but ultimately try and go for a 2R. If it triggers, if it doesn't trigger, get out. Already long on the New Zealand dollar Swiss. That's putting back down into propulsion at the moment. So that New Zealand dollar CAD, the reason I've taken, I'm using the Price Action Toolkit to get in basically, which is what I usually use. So placing above that high, obviously, and the reason I've put that trade in, if you drop down to M15, you'll see that that will become a reversal alert. There's your reversal alert at the moment. So on the hourly candles, if you place a stop, a buy limit above, a buy stop above the high of the last candle when you're looking to go long, to get that triggered, you have to have had either a 5 or a 15-minute reversal alert within that hourly candle, pretty much all the time. So I'm taking basically a reversal alert on a lower time frame by placing a pending order above the hourly high. So it's the same thing. Still multi-time frame analysis, analyzing the hourly charts, but I'm looking at 5-minute entries or 15-minute entries. So the 5-minute entry is on the high of that candle, where my pending order is. New Zealand dollar yen, bang in the middle of nowhere. New Zealand US, bang in the middle of nowhere. US dollar CAD, we've broken out the highs. Well, to update, I was going to say, I thought we were a bit higher than that. So be looking at this high as the next stop. We might get a reaction out of that propulsion gap, but probably just for a pullback. So I'll be interested in shorting it up at those highs. All I'm looking for is a reaction. It doesn't have to come back down from those highs. It just needs to react at the highs. If it wants to go long, that's fine. I'm taking that. Just taking a scalp off of the reaction. US dollar Swiss. Again, bang in the middle of nowhere, in no man's land. So the next sort of resistance area that we're going to reach is going to be here. So I'm not interested in taking anything until we're up at this high, this purple line and this black line there. US dollar yen. So this area of balance where we broke down from could potentially act as a resistance area, but I'd much rather be taking that high. So that's last month's high and the previous month's high double top. So we'll get some sellers stepping in there, stop above the high. So this is that 145 level we looked at previously. So this is where the Bank of Japan started threatening intervention and the market reacted. So if we get back to there and we pop over to financial juice and we see a load of intervention speak coming from Japan, we should be shorting. Okay, so nothing much else exciting there. So I got pending orders set on New Zealand dollar CAD. Everything else going into drawdown. Don't think I'll get triggered on that either. But we are double bottoming, so we'll see. So we're just looking to take that liquidity potentially and pop. So might get an entry on that one today. So nothing exciting there. US dollar CAD ADR. We know about that one. Already had a trigger on that. So Indices, we've bounced off the lows on the S&P. NASDAQ got 2R on the opening range so far. Dow's still crumbling down, but nothing particularly exciting. Not a lot happening, is there, today? Got in on gold sales at 1946. So that will have come down today because of the US dollar rally. Oil inventories in 2 minutes. So yeah, nice sell on the gold. That's US dollar rally. Oil, we'll watch that because we're about to get the reaction on oil. If my chart updates. Come on, you've got 2 minutes to update. Does anyone know if trading history can be downloaded from my FX book? No idea. If there's a download button, yes. If not, no. But my FX book just feeds from your MT4 account, so why not just export it from MT4? I suppose it's got more data. I don't use my FX book, so I don't actually know the answer to that one. Okay, so oil's down at ADR at the moment. So this might be a nice little long. Have I got oil on this account? I have. Stopped out on whatever that was. Aussie CAD. Stopped out. Didn't get that bounce. News. See, this is news. All about the news. As soon as you get a strong move on the US dollar, nothing you can do about it. So New Zealand dollar CAD, that is holding that low at the moment. Right. Oil's about to get the news. 2 seconds. There we go. Look at that spread. Huge spread. So oil's popping off the lows. Euro New Zealand on my chart is in half ADR, nowhere near to touch 100. So this means my ADRs are completely different. Euro New Zealand. Half an ADR. You can't be half an ADR. Even from the news, it's moved 180 pips. ADR is 185. You can't have, your chart cannot be showing 90 pips of movement today. Moved 180 pips. I would suggest there's something wrong with your ADR, with your history. So go out on your hourly, yeah, take off the scroll button and just hit home and keep hitting page up and home and scroll back as far as you possibly can. Load data. I don't reckon you've got data in there. If you haven't got an ADR hit today, something wrong with your chart. GU is 125 ADR. That's 100. Something wrong with your data, Peter. Make sure you've got, I mean, you should have 10 days worth of data, but if you're zoomed in on your chart like this, yeah, you may not have 10 days worth of data loaded, in which case then ADR 10 cannot be calculated because you haven't got 10 days worth of data to calculate with. But we certainly haven't done 125 ADR. Nowhere near. How do you export from MT4? So in MT4, you just go to your history, account history, right click, save as report. Or save as detailed report. Sorry, bear with me 1 sec. delivery. The wife's got it. So yeah, just save that. And then you can open that in whatever you want. Excel, import it into something. If you've got Quant Analyzer, you can import into Quant Analyzer. See it. So if you just go into there, and export, save as report, that will basically save an HTML file that you can then grab all that data and export it out and put it into whatever you want. So I use Quant Analyzer and then basically load my P&L into Quant Analyzer and analyze it that way. And then it gives me a breakdown of all my trading history, profit factor, daily profit, got a list of every single trade, all the details of it, equity chart, trade analysis, all sorts of stuff. Good bit of kit if you want to analyze your performance. The main reason to use this is identifying areas that you don't make money on. So pound yen made a loss. CAD Swiss made a loss. Pretty much it. Yeah. So you can identify where you're going wrong, and obviously if you see this appearing in your P&L every month as a negative, stop trading it. If you remove that from your portfolio, you remove that loss. By removing that loss, you're instantly making that much more money. How you identify what you're crap at. Not getting anywhere on the indices so far this afternoon. So it's all shorts across the board. NASDAQ's the only thing you've really had any movement on so far. So we're coming up to an hour in at the minute. Oil. Not got the bounce. So we are pulling back now on oil. So I'll be looking in this accumulation, basically anywhere in here, we could find a pullback long opportunity. So watching on lower time frames for signs of some kind of reversal kicking in. And basically look for that move up to there's 125 ADR on oil. Looking for that move back up to 83.5. So if you measure this move, got two ways of measuring this move actually. From there to there, looking for a pullback. So that's 38, that propulsion gap. That propulsion gap there is 50. That propulsion gap is 61.8. So looking for a pullback for longs somewhere, anywhere basically, whoops, in that zone. So from that high up to where we broke up into this area here. So we're not far away. So another ADR or so to the downside. Good area to start looking for long opportunities, see if we get some strength coming through. But this could also collapse way further on that move. Yeah, we could be looking at coming all the way back down to this area here. If we're going to go longer term swing. One or the other. Take Profit have just reduced their minimum trading days to just 5. Take Profit Trader, is that? Pretty good. Still not as good as take top step. Top step's now 2 days. You can pass in 2 days. But yeah, pretty good. My free account is waiting. Lies. It's not free. They also have the best withdrawal rule, yeah. Yeah. They're good. I like them. But either them or Top Step at the minute are the leaders. Top Step are better, in my opinion, just because you don't lose your account if you go and hit your drawdown limit for the day. That's the only advantage to them. The payouts are pretty quick on Top Step. You can pass faster than Take Profit Trader, but with Take Profit Trader, obviously, if you hit your drawdown limit for the day, you lose the account. If you do that on Top Step, you don't lose the account. They just stop you trading today and tell you to come back tomorrow. So depends. If you're the type of trader that hits your daily drawdown limit on a regular basis, that's a really good rule. If you're not, and you're disciplined, and you can stop yourself from hitting that daily drawdown limit, Take Profit are your man. Both as good as each other, really, at the moment. Futures is getting a lot more competitive. A lot more. Peter, I see now the big move candle on EN on IC markets today at 1 a.m. TD365 is 1/8. Yeah, so your ADR will also be changed on. So if you're trading a New Zealand dollar pair specifically, you will find that this overnight candle here, the swap candle, can be spread anything up to half an ADR. Yeah, so the market closed there. We opened 5 minutes later here, and they spread the candle by, in this case on the pound New Zealand, they spread the candle by 83 pips. Half an ADR is 102. So obviously ADR is calculated from the low of the day. So if they spread you down half an ADR, you're a half an ADR out to the upside. Nothing you can do about it. But this is all part of your calculations, yeah? So don't forget, these lines, ADR, average daily range. So if your candles are, if your broker is spreading wide at the swap, watch is working again. My watch died the other day. Battery was red hot. It's suddenly come back to life. So if you're getting big swap candles, they're all taken into account on the average daily range. So if you've got a really bad broker that does a big swap, your ADRs will be equivalent. So it's horses for courses, really. But they're rough areas where we get exhaustion. Yeah, ADR. So we've moved up to ADR. We've hit 125 ADR. So somewhere around there, you'd expect exhaustions to start to kick in. It's never going to be exactly ADR or exactly 125 ADR. It's an area. It's where we normally get to roughly there before we start doing something else. Yeah, that's why ADR works. That's why the dash and the indicator is so good, because it just tells us when we are likely to start to run out of steam. Nothing's guaranteed, obviously. Look at oil. But oil is extended 125% of its normal daily range at the moment. So we're 25% bigger than usual. We're approaching 50% bigger than usual. Let's have a look at what that was, that inventory. Minus 17 on a forecast of 1. Yeah, so 17 million barrels less than we were expecting. That should be bullish as well, shouldn't it? See what I mean about oil? Doesn't pay any attention, does it? Doesn't pay any attention to any news. It does what the hell it likes. Right, I'll leave it there today. There's nothing much else to discuss at the minute. So oil, watch this. There's 150. God, that's really coming down fast, isn't it? We're just about to hit some lines on the chart. Why have I drawn those? So this is just kind of a support resistance area. Look, just an area we've reacted at multiple times. This zone, we've hit the top of that zone basically. So might be a nice little mean reversion opportunity. But you are kind of getting in the way of a steam train today, so be careful. So back tomorrow morning, 7:50. See how everything's playing out. I've got my third position on pound US. So I just need to adjust TPs on that. We'll go for that propulsion now. Actually, no, let's go for this one. So that's 200 ADR from where we are at the moment. So that is my break even. Yeah, so I've only got to do an ADR to get break even. Anything above ADR is obviously going to be profit. So third position on. 1, 2, 3. Average is there. Good example for position trading if you're not used to it. So we started with our entry there. We were wrong. So we moved our entry by taking a second entry there. We moved our entry down to here. And now, because we're wrong even more, we've taken a third entry and we've moved our entry down to here. So we started off by entering there. We've moved our position down to there. And now we've moved our position down to there. So rather than taking a loss, we just adjust price. Good, isn't it? Not many systems and strategies where you can get in and go, actually, I don't fancy that price anymore. I fancy having it there. Thanks to it. New Zealand dollar Swiss ADR, loads of ADRs going off. We've got a lot of movement going in at the moment across the board. The Swiss franc is getting caned, or rather is rallying hard. Yeah, so a lot of money piling into the Swiss franc ahead of the news. A lot of money piling into the Swiss franc. Why have I got no Swiss franc shorts on? Annoying. No Swissy on at all. So you can tell how strong the US dollar is. The Swiss franc is absolutely flying at the moment, and all it's managing to do against the US is that. So we've got a very strong US, we've got a very strong Swiss franc, which begs the question, what are they piling out of? Aussie dollar, look, selling off. New Zealand dollar selling off a little bit. Euro selling off a little bit as well. How's that for an exit on the Euro Swiss? Lucky one, wasn't it? Right, I'll be back tomorrow at 7:50, same time, back at 2:20 in the afternoon for the New York session. We'll have a look at what's going on with the market tomorrow morning. The US indices are coming down nicely now. So if you're on those shorts, so your opening range breakout, if you took the EA short, beauty, 2R. If you've taken the S&P short, you're approaching 1.5R. And the Dow, you're approaching 1R. So very nice profit on all the shorts so far. So any of the stop outs you've had, like that one and that one, they're all paid for. And if you took that one as well, you are quids in today. Too big for me. I'm still trying to find the time to do my analysis, which I haven't got around to yet, on these breaks. I've got an idea of a different way to trade this open, which I'm going to test. So I'll let you know, but I need to do some visual back testing, which is going to take me a while. So, but yeah, nice ORBs today. Go away, whoever you are. Why, when you hit the leave a message button, do they phone back 3 times? Like, get the hint. So yeah, back tomorrow morning, 7:50 and 2:20 tomorrow afternoon for the US session. We'll have a look at the usual, see where we are, and see if we've managed to make any profit on anything. Everything's going the wrong way at the moment today, so hopefully it's going the right way for you. I'll be back then. Anything you need, come in Telegram. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good evening.